Air pollution is a major problem in Ghana.
It is a serious problem and needs to be addressed, and it can be addressed.
But at Duta, near Aplao in the Volta region, the situation is worse. Residents are forced to inhale tons of cement dust daily.
It goes into the rooms. Even when we're walking from the house to the school, it's very severe. Me personally, I'm asthmatic. Yes, and it is aggravating my condition.
The dust causes a lot of problems to them, like it's an effect on their health, like having respiratory tract infections here and there. And when we grade our diseases that we have seen within the year or within the month, malaria is on top, and then respiratory tract infection is the second.
Animals are also not spared. The fortunate ones go blind, while the unlucky ones die.
28 sheep were died before I know that the cement gas we are eating is nice.
It's a situation which has consequences for the rest of the nation. The village makes the cassava-based granular flour, gari, to sell in other parts of the country. All of this is laced with the toxic substance.
You don't know if the gari that you're eating comes from cassava which has been polluted by pesticide, or cassava that has got a heavy loading of cement dust in it.
Managers of the Diamond Cement Company, the source of the problem, admit they are polluting the environment.
Our business is cement, and cement is dust. So our business is dust. In fact, we are producing dust, but we are managing that dust.
My name is Seth Kwame Boaten. Join me as I take you on a tour to discover the wanton pollution of a poor community, the shocking story of how people in this part of the country are contracting severe lung infections and being made candidates for death. Living things like humans must breathe to stay alive. But breathing in contaminated or polluted air come with many health problems and sometimes death. It is estimated that on the average, human beings breathe in about 13,000 liters of air each day. Sportsmen and other active individuals can do 20,000 liters in a day. Our body has to utilize the oxygen in each of the breaths and sift out all the unwanted ones, which put more strain on the body's detoxification system. Clean air has, however, become an expensive commodity in recent times, and this has harmful consequences on the health of all of us.
Just imagine this amount of air that you breathe in. If the air is not clean and is so dirty, you could imagine how much of particulates that will enter into your body. Yeah, and the dangerous ones are the very fine ones and the gases. Okay, that is why it is good that cigarette smoking should be banned.
Aside smokers, manufacturing companies and big industries are often blamed for this, and Duta in Aflao in the Volta region is no exception. They are forced to inhale, drink and eat cement every day. Duta is a farming community about 4 miles away from the Ghana-Togo border in Aflao. The road leading to the town has many potholes and gullies, making driving on it an uphill task. Until Diamond Cement established its factory here in the year 2002, Duta was a typical village and lit and lacked many basic amenities. The establishment of this factory has, however, made Duta a busy town, hence enjoying almost all the social and structural benefits that come with industrialization. General Manager of Diamond Cement, Tati Ramo, speaks proudly about the facelift the area has seen since they set up in Duta.
When we came here, there is no power facility, separate electricity here. The electricity is brought from far, I think some Sugakope or somewhere. The line is to come substation, and this Aflao community is to be the power. When we came here, we are is a cement industry. It will mainly basically on the power. They need more power. We need more power. 8 MVA power is we are using today. So then we need the line which is already existing. It is not sufficient to supply the power. So we approach with the government and VRA. Then they say, okay, if you like, the line is going, I think you know, the line is going from Akasambo to Togo. The international line is there. From there, we drop the, as per the government support, the VRA support, they drop the substation and they make from 2 kilometers from this factory, we put a substation. This total side communities, surrounding communities, we are given the water facility.
Some give them
water facility.
Why?
Because they don't have the facility there, so they have to go and bring somewhere. So they requested, as per the community social responsibility, we are arranging some areas pipelines, and some areas even we put a tank here outside of our factory. We put a tank and anybody can come take there from there. From there also, from the over tank also, we give some communities. Some communities we line the pipeline from here. Duta community, there are in their senior secondary school, junior secondary school it is, junior secondary school. We built 6 classrooms in 2008. Again, from their approach recently, also last year also, we will make another 3 classrooms building we are built it. So, and not only this one, in the Denu community also some schools we have built it. So we are almost this surrounding the, mainly we are focusing on the education facility, because the education is very important for the community.
Yes, the people appreciate this, especially the school and the electricity supply. Headmaster of Duta Local Authority Primary School, Paul Alosode, is one of them. Mr. Alosode describes the structures that existed in his school before Diamond Cement's coming.
We have 3 classroom structure pavilion over there. And that was the only structure we had before.
And this one I can see built by Diamond Cement, donated to the Duta community. When did they build this and when did they hand over to you?
It was built in 2008 and handed over to us in 2009.
Quality Control Manager of Diamond Cement, Komlan Aladu, is happy with the facelift they have brought to Duta.
There is a big change. From village we have come to town.
But behind the sudden change in the lives of the people of Duta and the joy is an underlying problem which presents residents with a major health risk. The atmosphere is filled with tons of cement dust. You will literally see masses of cement particles floating in the air. This is because the cement factory is sited a few meters from the homes here. I have traveled all the way from Accra to the Volta region, specifically Duta Agbayome. It's not far from Aplao here in the Volta region, but very close to Togo. I'm told it's about 3 minutes drive from this town to Togo. Here we have the Diamond Cement factory, and as I'm talking I can feel the cement in my mouth. But people here have lived here for years, and they have been inhaling this pollution or this dust from Diamond Cement. They have all forms of sicknesses because of that. Their farms have been affected. They can't grow plants and crops again. Their children are ill. The oldest are also ill. I'm here to speak to them about how this is affecting them and what they are doing to protect themselves. I moved to one of the nearest homes around the cement factory, and there I meet Madam Agbogbe Ahiable and her family. She is a mother of 7 and makes Gary. From a distance, Madam Agbogbe looks very healthy. But the reality, according to her, is that she is sick.
We used to have such bountiful harvest, but all that changed when the cement factory was established. Now our crops don't grow well. Nothing seems to work.
We
are constantly ill. We can no longer stretch out or lie on the floor. There's cement dust everywhere, in our food, in our soups. I've not been well myself. I have frequent chest pains and headache with bouts of coughing.
Working around fire is not good for her health, but Madam Agbugbe says she has no choice. She strives to make profit so she could use it to take care of her health. But that rarely happens, so her children are compelled to always foot her medical bills. Madam Agbugbe says before the establishment of Diamond Cement, she had none of the diseases she's battling with now.
I'd never had any of these ailments until the factory came. And I'm sure the cement dust is the reason most of us are falling sick in this community. The doctor even alluded to that when I went to the hospital.
Her physician has advised her to relocate from this area because of the cement pollution. But according to her, she has nowhere to go. Madame Agbugbe is in this household with not only her children, but her grandchildren, including babies as well. Like the adults, these little ones also breathe in the cement dust in the air. And Madame Agbugbe, their grandmother, is very worried.
Our children haven't been spared either. They used to be so healthy, but all that changed when the factory was set up. Now, they are constantly sick and complaining of one illness or the other. And I know without any shred of doubt that the dust from the factory is the cause.
About 1,000 people live in Duta, Agbereme, and almost all of them have a respiratory condition as a result of the cement pollution. Their first port of call anytime they are sick is the Akpokpole Health Center. I make a quick trip to the health facility to verify these claims by the residents. I meet the nurse in charge, Moses Jochi Asi. The nurse confirms that respiratory tract infection is the second most reported sickness at the health center and links these to the polluted air.
I've also talked to a few people who also have the same complaint, and they share the same view like those you met. And they complain they are having problem with it because the dust causes a lot of problems to them. Like it's an effect on their health, like having respiratory tract infections here and there. And when we grade our diseases that we have seen within the year or within the month, malaria is on top and then respiratory tract infection is the second.
And how serious are these conditions, the respiratory infection problems?
Respiratory problem can be very serious when you don't look at it from the start. From the onset, the person comes with runny nose or what we normally call catarrh or common cold, which we know is a viral infection, but it's aggravated by something, especially dust.
The quality control manager of Diamond Cement, Komlan Aladu, has his doubts about the figures.
Of course, I don't deny. I said earlier, our business is dust, so it may have effect. But let's check others where there is no cement factory, if there is no respiratory problem. Don't link necessarily those sickness to the cement dust. Go deep, do further research.
For asthmatic patients in this part of the Volta region, the prediction is that their conditions will worsen, while people without the disease have a high chance of acquiring it. Agbadi Redeemer Selassie is a teacher in this town. He is asthmatic and tells me his condition has been worsening. To save his life, he has relocated to another town. But this has not changed his condition in any way.
In 2011 as a teacher. From there, I lived in the community. What I realized is there is dust in the community that affected people. And still
What kind of dust?
Coming from the Diamond Cement factory. It goes into the rooms, even when we're walking from the house to the school, it's very severe. Me personally, I'm asthmatic, yes, and it is aggravating my condition. So we're just appealing to the authorities of the factory to do something about it.
Is this still affecting you? No, are you still living here or you have moved?
I have moved. I'm living in the town now.
Why did you move?
Not per se about the dust anyway, but walking from that place to this place, I go in the dust. So I prefer to go to the town so that I pass the other way. Not in the community I live, but when moving from the house to the school, that is why I encountered the problem. That is why I left.
And you said you are asthmatic and it was aggravating your problem?
Yes.
So did you ever experience any severe attack because of that?
Yes, when I came here first, when I was living in the community, I can remember on my way to the school one day I was attacked because of the dust.
In the Duta Agberome community, there are a number of people who are not asthmatic but have developed breathing difficulties. The residents blame this on the cement pollution. 58-year-old farmer Balagbo Georginau Koshi can relate. He says his health has so much been affected to the extent that he cannot speak continuously for 1 minute without attempting to get something off his throat.
Now coming for hospital.
What was wrong with you?
All my heart, it be like something there for my heart. So every day I make, it worry me too much. Fortunately, social sickness, they worry me too much. A day was now 1 year, 8 months now. This year too, I won't go for farm. I won't weed unless I take the laborers to
So you're a farmer?
Oh, yes, I'm a farmer. I'm a farmer properly. But this year, I don't enter the farm this year too.
Because
of yes, I know where. Unless I take the laborers to give her the money to go wheel the farm for me. That's all.
He fears about the long-term effect of the pollution on the people in the area. Many of them may die, he says.
Because of the dust, you will die.
So what can be done immediately about it? What should be done to help you?
If you feel make them to help us for some medicine or all these things will stop, the dust will stop, that is fine. Like it.
So either they fix the problem or they find medicines for you, drugs for you.
No, you face the problem.
The people are dying slowly, according to this scientific analysis by the Deputy Director of the Ghana Nuclear Research Institute of the Ghana Atomic Energy, Dr. Francis Goman Ofosu.
Let me look at the lungs. As you inhale more of these dust into the lungs, it chokes the lungs eventually. And when the lungs are choked, what happens is that it affects the oxygen carbon dioxide exchange in the body. Okay, so it slows it down. So when it slows it down, what will happen is that the body will begin to lack enough oxygen for the body to operate. Then the brain will detect it. You see, the brain will detect that the body's oxygen level is low. So it will now ask the heart to pump harder to supply the body with enough what? Oxygen. By so doing, what happens? The heart pumps harder and faster, and that causes what? Hypertension.
The silent killer.
The silent killer. So that comes gradually with time as the particles keeps on what? Piling up in your lungs. It keeps on piling up in your lungs, and then the pressure will be coming up gradually. So you see someone at the age of 35, even 30 or something, then he begins to what? Complain of what? Pressure, okay, and or hypertension. This can be a cause, but that is not the only cause of hypertension, of course, but it is one of the major causes of hypertension. So if there is so much cement dust in the atmosphere, elevating the dust levels, hypertension can be one of the causes, in addition to respiratory tract diseases, which will always affect mostly children and the aged. Okay, and it kills the aged very fast because they are so vulnerable. They are weak already. So if all these things pile up in the body, then the aged will just be going just like that. So we can't have a lot of aged people in the society.
At the local health center at Duta, the nurse in charge, Moses Jochi Asi, says the people also stand a chance of getting cancer if the cement pollution continues.
Respiratory tract infection can be very serious. Like when it begins, you see maybe common cold, which is an upper tract respiration infection. You see, you treat it and it will go. But once you go back to the dust or to the environment where you got it, it will come. So we call it recurrent. It's on and off. So once it becomes recurrent, then the infection is spreading down to your lungs. And where the dust settles in your lungs, you could develop a whole lot of problems. It could prone you to having asthma, or when you already have asthma, it narrows your airways, either the bronchi or the bronchioles, the airways leading to the lungs. So you may have a serious asthmatic attack, or you are prone to having asthma if you already don't have. So in the long term, it could prone somebody who already has asthma, which is very serious. The person could be there and then you have an attack, and if care is not taken, we might lose the fellow. But if you already don't have it, it might prone you to having recurrent chest infection, which could either lead to any of the cancers of the airways, either the lung cancer or any other cancer in the airways.
Cement facilities worldwide generally generate dust no matter the technology involved. But there are technologies to reduce the dust emissions. Environmental scientists are doing a lot of research in this area. In the course of my investigations, I chanced on a detailed research work on the diamond cement pollution done by an environmental scientist with the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, Dr. Moses Addo. I set off to meet him. Dr. Moses Addo is also a radiation safety officer here at the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission. He has done a 3-year study of the cement pollution at Duta.
In this situation, what I saw was that technology, which should have reduced the gas level, was not so high. So the gas is just released into the environment, and the surrounding settlements may be affected. So what I tried to look at, I saw the level of the dust in the air. In the air, the levels of the materials I look at, the dust itself is so much above the whole level. In some point you could find the levels about 4 times higher, really. Because I did the work around the facility, and where the air seems to be concentrated were highly affected by the concentration of the dust.
But people in Duta are not the only people affected by the cement dust pollution. The villagers make gari, a granular flour from cassava, and sell in Aplao and other parts of the country. All these end up getting contaminated.
The dust is all over the place and settles on our milled dough, and we leave it overnight. Why are we going to sell this in this community? If we do, we'll be making our whole community sick.
Scientists, researchers, and experts have identified other ways people outside this zone are also affected by the cement pollution other than the spread through gari. One of such scientists is the Director of Environment and Sanitation Studies at the University of Ghana, Professor Chris Gordon.
The point is that we assume that when there's pollution, it is only the people around the area who are impacted. But as you've just said, the food that is being produced goes over the whole country. And because we don't have any value chain tracking, you don't know if the gari that you're eating comes from cassava which has been polluted by pesticide, or cassava that has got a heavy loading of cement dust in it. You don't know if the lettuce you're eating has got some helminth parasites because they've used polluted water to water it. But apart from the food itself, there's impact on the nutritive value of the food. You see, the coating of dust on the leaves reduces the whole efficiency of the plant's operation. So you find that the productivity is less. So farmers get less crop per hectare, or they have to use more fertilizer, which also has an additive effect on the stresses on the environment.
Evidence of the cement pollution is clear even in farms in the Duta Agbairame community. Crops on their farms are all covered with cement dust. 72-year-old father of 16, Bigboji Ahiable, has had his farm severely affected. He leads me through some narrow routes to his house. On our way, every tree or crop we see has cement on it. Trees on his compound under which Mr. Ahiable and his family relax under have also not been spared. he has lived here for about 20 years. Mr. Ahiable speaks about how he lost his crops.
I have planted a coconut tree, mango grapes. They are broken it, and I haven't get anything from here. I plant 15 grapes. They are not growing.
What is grapes?
That's a foreign mango.
Yes.
And you didn't get anything from it?
Oh, no.
Why?
The government give us the mango tree, and we plant it. Once it grow, another guy from many years here, it not grow again.
Why?
The cement, we are trouble him.
Oh. So how is the cement doing that?
If the tree is not, if you see that the mango tree, cement block the mango tree, it's not growing to bring this thing, fruit for us.
72-year-old Mr. Ahiable takes me further into one of his farms.
So it was a big farm?
Yes, it's a big farm. Right.
And now you have planted
this it's not good. It's not good before, and I leave it, and I went to another place. I read it.
In his 3 years research into the effects of the cement pollution on human beings and crops, environmental scientist Dr. Moses Addo established that some of the crops in Duta are heavily polluted, making the nation stand a greater risk of experiencing food poisoning.
I did also some work on the cassava, and I'm seeing that it is also suffering some elevation according to the research, some level of, not in totality, but in some portions of the area where tested, there could be problem in terms of food contamination. Yeah, but you know, what I did was with raw cassava, I didn't cook it, because if you do cooking, something like cassava, some of these elements may wash out of this thing, and maybe the level may reduce. So conclusively, but we are assuming that if the cassava is eaten raw, right, then it could impact, they could have some level of food poisoning. Yeah.
And let's look at the bigger picture. We might say that this is happening in Aflao. Are there chances that what is happening there may have effect on people living outside Aflao or Duta?
Well, it could happen. For example, you know, we depend on food from these rural communities, really. So if their food products are contaminated, it could affect this thing. And it could also affect health, because I did something on what we call on the cowpea, you understand? Trying to look at the productivity in terms of the pollution from the end. The research indicated that cement does affect the growth of some plants, especially this crop, which is so dear to the people of the Volta region.
From one home to the other, stories of how livestock have also suffered from the pollution were told. The fortunate ones went blind, but the unfortunate ones died. Deputy Director of the Ghana Nuclear Research Institute of the Ghana Atomic Energy, Dr. Francis Gumanofosu, says these are possible.
Cement is a chemical, okay? And it's not something that we should be eating. So if it is deposited on all these our leaves, and the animals also live on leaves, so if they take it, they inhale, they take in these chemicals, and eventually to have a lot of impact on their system, that's the various organs of the body, and can easily kill them. Can have effect on, maybe I can't mention, but whatever be it, it will have an impact on their some part of the organs, and eventually will kill them, because it's a chemical that we shouldn't be taking in.
Back to Duta, 72-year-old Mr. Ahiable tells me how he lost 28 of his sheep to the pollution.
I make a sheep.
You rear animals too?
Animals too.
And where are the sheep?
Sheep is not into a house in Fiokofe.
Why?
This area, if a sheep is there here, eat this grass is died. That's why I live here to that place.
Why do they die? The sheep.
The sheep, the cement broke the leaf. If they eat sheep, they eat the grass, they will die. That's why.
So did any of your sheep die?
Yes. 28 sheep were died before I know that the cement grass we are eating is nice. Is that there were
28 of your
28
sheep
sheep.
died?
Yes.
Head of Public Health at the Veterinary Service, Bashiri Boy Kikimoto, explains why animals die as a result of such pollution.
The cement is made from clinker, and these are carbonates that combine. So they come out in the form of pulverized form. So you can enter their food and they will take it in or ingest, or it can enter their eyes and they may, get blind. But the one that goes inside them can kick due to addition of moisture to it. And this will prevent the movement of the ruminated food from moving from one chamber of the animal, the stomach, to the other. There are 4 chambers in ruminants, so it can take to affect them. And also the one that is in the abosom, the juice, secreted juices can also affect, the functioning of, and we normally call it motorica, or the movement of the stomach. So that will make sure that it helps the digestion. All this can stop due to that.
So at what point can they die?
Or they can die, for example, if, when it kicks up, it can bring the stomach all together. So it's eating food, but it's not being able to digest it, and it will not be absorbed into the system. So it can get emaciated. Some of it can also block some part of the orifices. That will make breathing difficult. It can press on the diaphragm. And the diaphragm is the one that when you are breathing, it moves up and down. It can also be stiff, and they can die. But because you are not sitting here, you will know. All that you realize the animal has fallen down, it is dead.
Water is life, and its quality must not in any way be compromised. In rural communities like Duta, where pipe-borne water or safe drinking water is a scarce commodity, rainwater and wells are their best alternatives. But here in Duta, residents have not been able to drink harvested rainwater due to the pollution. The atmosphere is too polluted. Rainwater has also been contaminated.
Up to date now, when it rains, we can't take this water. Because as we are seeing now, also the same. If you want to use this water for like this road like this, how can we drink this water?
So you mean before the cement factory was established, you used to collect rainwater?
Yes.
And you collect from the roofing.
The roofing, yeah.
And you put in, you store it.
Yeah, you store it.
But now, the pollution gets dust, cement, dust, zinc. So you can no longer harvest that rainwater.
So it rains and the rainwater goes waste. With no rainwater to drink and use for other purposes, wells are the residents' best alternative. One of such wells is located not far from the house of Madame Ahiable, the Gary producer. In a kind of a bush somewhere, she leads me there. She draws water from this well, and clearly one can see that the water has changed color. The cement dust has again caused another havoc here. Trees and other crops around this well have all been covered with the cement dust.
The water from the well isn't safe for drinking because of the cement dust. We thought covering the well with corrugated iron sheets will help, but we are only able to use the water for our baths and to wash the dishes. As a result, we have to travel some distance to buy water from the pump.
The problem is not different in other parts of the community. Most wells have been contaminated. Residents in Duta are primarily farmers, but they get little from farming because of this pollution, so they are poor. For the sake of their health, they have resorted to buying sachet water for use. 58-year-old former unit committee chairman Balagbo Georginao Koshi has a well in his house, but he can only use it to wash. He confirms at times they have to cross the border into Togo for purified water.
Before you drink, but now you know they drink.
Why?
And because you they share for cement duster. Yes.
So where do you fetch water now?
Frankly, you they buy this in pure water. If you open my room now, you get sachet for the pure water plenty. If somebody come to me, I will give it to him. I can't fresh this water to give it anybody. That one to you use it. Yes. Now too, if you open my room now, you see the many this in pure water.
What can be done?
But you try first of all, you grow for Togo set to fresh the water to cook the food. Before you go there, you ask permission for Togo soldiers. They will collect 50 francs for you before they give you a chance. But
to
now,
go and fetch water from Togo?
Yes.
So does it mean some of you were going there or still go to Togo and fetch water?
Fetch water.
Environmental scientist at the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, Dr. Moses Addo, in his research in Duta, also looked into this water pollution. Dr. Addo says his findings showed that those who drink from the wells in this area faced imminent danger.
What I did means that the water is being impacted upon, really, because also some contaminants I measured were higher than they should be. But in this area, we could not relate the matter to the dust alone, because the geology should also be looked at, and they see how they could also influence the quality of the water. But generally, from what I found out, the situation is not favorable for drinking. Yeah.
And what can happen to those who drink from such wells?
Really, it can give them what we call non-carcinogenic effects. According to my findings, I was trying to find out whether it could even impose cancer or non-cancer risks. With cancer risks, the person will have cancer. With respect to non-cancer risks, then other ailments could be possible. And maybe for everyone is maybe headache or maybe stomach ache or whatever, any other diseases apart from cancer.
This low total side communities, surrounding communities, we are given the water facility. Some
giving them water?
Water facility.
Why?
Because they don't have the facility there, so they have to go and bring somewhere. So they requested, as per the community social responsibility, we are arranging some areas pipelines, and some areas even we put a tank here outside of our factory. We put a tank and anybody can come take there from there. From there also, from the water tank also we give some communities. Some communities we line the pipeline from here. So we are trying to doing.
But does water flow through the pipes?
Yes. We have a pump. Some communities we have a pump to on from here. Some communities already from the over tank, head tank water will flow. So they are getting more or less, most of the communities surrounding, we are giving the water.
With this information from the general manager of Diamond Cement, the residents should not have issues with safe drinking water because they have provided for them. This needs verification. We are still here in Duta in Flao, where Diamond Cement is situated. As you can see, Diamond Cement is not far from where walking to or from where I am, and I'm going to a pipe the company said has been constructed for the people. The people told me water has not flowed for some time, so I'm here to verify myself and see if it's accurate. So I'm opening the tap. Well, it's not flowing. Okay, let me go to the second one and see. This one has already been opened. Eish. No, I can't even turn it. Yeah, and it was it was constructed somewhere in 2006, as it's been written here. Oh, but I understand the people tell me for it they had water flowing through these taps for just a year, and since then they've never had water from here. So they tell me they walk to nearby villages to fetch water. This has been the situation because they can't drink from their own wells because a number of them have been polluted by the cement, and also they used to collect rainwater, but because of the pollution, they cannot pick water from the skies any longer. It's all because of the cement pollution, which is seen everywhere on their plants, crops, everywhere. There's the situation here, and but the company tells us that they have constructed this for them, and water has been flowing, so the people are okay with potable drinking water. So we came here to check. I moved to another area, and the story is the same. Come to the second one, but the taps have been locked. Why? Why is it? Why have they locked it? So looking at how dry the area looks like, it's obvious that this tap has not worked or has not been working for some time now. Though I can see drops of water coming from it. The people tell me they've not had water from this well for a number of months, running to years now. The municipal chief executive for Ketu South, Pascal Lamte, however, draws my attention to the possibility of visiting the wrong pipes, even though the residents tell me those I visited were provided by Diamond Cement.
We have two types of standpipes. Okay. There are those that have been put up by an American NGO, Water is Life. They were here, they did some work for us, and we realized that most of the boreholes were having salt in them. So we closed some of them down. But those that have been established by Diamond Cement, the water runs. It's a community called Zume. When you go there, you see the water flowing.
Outdoor and indoor air pollution is a growing menace to children's well-being. According to the World Health Organization Global Health Risk, the overall mortality and burden of disease attributable to selected major indoor air pollution alone is about 2.7% of the total global burden of the diseases. Children in Duta, in the Volta region, are part. A number of them are in the Duta MA Primary School. I got there during their morning assembly. There is cement dust in the air, so as they happily sing and march to their classrooms, they inhale the dust in the process. Headmaster of the school, Paul Alosode, confirms the cement dust travels all the way to the school.
If you can look around, you can see the dust on the leaves around, and there were several agitations from the community. And we met the factory several occasions, and we made several attempts so that they can take strategies to control it. Even some time ago, we called our former MP, Honorable Albert Kosi-Zigan. We met and we formed a committee. We wrote a letter. He suggested sending the letter to the Parliament Select Committee for actions to be taken on it. Later, we have not heard anything.
Assistant Headmaster of the school, Modestus Awuye Kobi, is also concerned about the kind of water the students drink, even in school.
In their homes, they drink from the well. And when they come to the school, we have a borehole around. So that is what they've been using.
But won't that borehole also be contaminated?
For sure. It will be contaminated.
And there's no alternative?
There is no alternative. There is no alternative.
Serious life-threatening challenges that people here are facing. When can they stop? And who can intervene on our behalf? These are some of the many questions that people here need answers to. Possibly, managers of Diamond Cement can help me with some answers, so I make my way there. I first meet the factory's quality control manager, Komlan Aladu. I asked if they knew of the pollution from the company.
I am saying dust going out is our money going out. We know how it is difficult to manage dust, but the management has not restricted any resource to control the dust. So we have a lot of controlling equipment in the system, and we have monitoring equipment to monitor the dust level every month, every quarter, and every year, and this is reported to EPA. So we cannot say they have agreed our dust, but they have understood there are some challenges in the system, and they are appreciating our effort to control the dust emission.
He says they are taking steps to deal with the issue.
The main challenging point it is the raw material offloading point, the clinker offloading point. You know, before we are getting the clinker from Togo by truck, so while tipping, the clinker is generating because you have to lift the body. And there was an issue. EPA came. Then they have advised Diamond Cement to acquire the land behind the unloading point of 50 meters. What we have acquired, and we plant trees to arrest any fugitive dust from the unloading points. But still, we can understand it is not fully controlled as we like it to be. So without waiting for anybody to come and again instruct Diamond Cement, the management took step to not take the clinker again by truck, but to operate by train, by wagon, the coaches.
That's right.
So we have started that operation since last year ending.
And I saw the train this morning.
Yeah. So we are taking nearly 700 tons of clinker at a time by train. And this clinker is unloaded underground directly. So there is no question of lifting again the truck body to generate more dust. Still the circuit is yet to be completed. So we are providing a lot of dust control equipment to try to stop the dust emission from that challenging point too.
Yes, they admit they are polluting the environment, but the general manager of Diamond Cement, Tati Ramoro, is particular about the development and job creation that people here have benefited. In a way, that supersedes everything.
After came this factory, the structure of this community is changed totally. So directly or indirectly, we have this factory is giving the employment for the 3,000 employees, 3,000 people. So our direct employees, we have some 500, and then our service providings, and then loading around 500 will be there, 1,000, and then food sellers, food vendors in the outside where the truck parking and all, and then the filling stations, and then the truck drivers. Every day 150 trucks, they will take the cement to the Accra and coming. So all these people, they are and distributors, all are there. This is a network, it's a net. So everybody is getting their food and bread from this factory. So that is say what I want to say. This community is developed comparatively 2002. Today, if you can find out for any area or other outsides, they can tell you how the community is developed, how the potential is increased this area. Even the land values are increased. Even once this 2012, we have a grid core transformer problem, so the plant is stopped for 45 days. So everybody is suffer because when this plant is run, outside food vendors and all other community people, they will directly, indirectly, they will get some.
Managers of the factory say the pollution from their company is not as bad as has been reported. According to the company's quality control manager, Komlan Aladu, the Environmental Protection Agency would have dealt with them if it were so. According to them, the EPA has always given them good grades.
I can tell you there is a program now, an EPA, we call it ACOBEN rating program. We started first with 50 companies, manufacturing companies. They are now rating 100 manufacturing companies. And I can tell you, since 4 years, we are doing our best to be the leader, the most eco-friendly company. So we are rated green since 4 years by EPA.
The ACOBEN program is an environmental performance rating and disclosure initiative of the Environmental Protection Agency. Under the ACOBEN initiative, the environmental performance of mining and manufacturing operations is assessed using a 5-color rating scheme. The 5 colors are gold, green, blue, orange, and red, indicating environmental performance ranging from excellent to poor. This means for the past 4 years, the diamond cement companies